20-year-old Filipino tennis star Alex Eala has sent Melbourne Park crowds into an absolute frenzy. We'll go live to Ollie Haig, who's in Garden Square for us this evening. Ollie.
Alex Eala has just done something incredible. The 20-year-old Filipino tennis player broke into the world's top 40 for the very first time in her career, and she is heading to Dubai to compete in one of the most prestigious tournaments on the entire WTA Tour. Just think about that for a second. 12 months ago, she was ranked 139 in the world. Now she is standing alongside some of the greatest players on the planet, ready to compete on one of the biggest stages in women's tennis. If that kind of story excites you as much as it excites us, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on Alex's incredible journey. We cover every step of her rise, and trust us, you do not want to miss what comes next. Now let's get into it properly, because this story deserves to be told in full. The Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships is not just any tournament. It has been running for 26 years now, and over those decades, it has built a reputation as one of the most respected events on the women's tour. The facilities are world-class, the prize money is serious, the ranking points on offer are substantial, and, most importantly, the players who show up every year are the best in the business. This year is no different. The field in Dubai includes 18 of the world's top 20 players. That is an almost unbelievable level of quality packed into one tournament. World number 1 Aryna Sabalenka is there. Elena Rybakina, who just won the Australian Open last month, is there. These are players who have already won Grand Slams, players who have been at the very top of the sport for years. And right there in the draw alongside all of them is Alex Eala, a 20-year-old from the Philippines who earned her spot fair and square through her ranking. Not a wild card, not a lucky qualifier, a legitimate top 40 player who belongs in that field. To understand just how remarkable this is, you have to go back 1 year. At this point in 2024, Alex was ranked 139 in the world. That is a perfectly respectable ranking for a young professional player, but it is a long way from the top 40. Most players who sit around that level spend years trying to break into the top 100, let alone the top 50. The jump from outside the top 100 to inside the top 50 is enormous because the competition gets significantly stronger with every step up the ladder. Players in that range are experienced, they are consistent, and they do not give away points easily. To climb nearly 100 spots in a single year is not something that happens very often. When it does happen, it is because someone is doing something very special. Alex has been doing something very special. Her results over the past several months tell the story clearly. She made the semifinals in Auckland, New Zealand, which is a WTA event with a strong field of competitive players. Getting to the semifinals of any WTA event is a genuine achievement because you have to beat multiple quality opponents just to get there. Then she traveled to Manila in the Philippines for a home tournament, and she made the quarterfinals there in front of a stadium packed with Filipino fans who had come specifically to watch her play. The energy in that arena must have been something else entirely. After that, she made another quarterfinal appearance in Abu Dhabi just last week. So if you look at her recent run of form, you are seeing semifinals, quarterfinals, quarterfinals in back-to-back-to-back tournaments. That kind of consistency is not an accident. That is a player who has found her level and is performing at it week after week without dropping off. Then came the Qatar Open in Doha, where things did not go the way Alex would have wanted. She lost in the round of 64 to a Czech qualifier named Teresa Valentova. The score was 7-6, 6-1, which tells you that the first set was tight before things got away from Alex in the second. It was an early exit, and nobody is going to pretend that early exits feel good. But here's the thing about professional tennis. It's an incredibly demanding sport played week after week, often with very little rest between tournaments. Even the absolute best players in the world lose matches they were expected to win. It happens to everyone. What separates the players who build long careers from the ones who struggle is not whether they lose, it's how they respond when they do. Alex's response to the Doha loss was telling. She posted on social media afterward and wrote that she was enormously grateful for the people who continuously show up for her and for the sport, and that they inspire her every day. There was no complaining, No excuses, no bitterness about the result, just genuine gratitude for her supporters and a clear focus on moving forward. That kind of attitude at 20 years old is genuinely impressive. A lot of young players at that age struggle to handle losses with that kind of perspective. They let defeats knock their confidence. They start doubting themselves, and those doubts can follow them into the next tournament and the one after that. Alex did not do any of that. She acknowledged the result, thanked her fans, and immediately shifted her attention to Dubai. That mental approach is going to serve her very well throughout her career. And her career up to this point has already given her a solid foundation to build on. Alex spent 6 years training at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain. 6 years! That is not a short stint or a brief experience. That is a major chunk of her life dedicated to learning the game in one of the finest tennis environments in the world. The Nadal Academy is built around a culture of hard work, discipline, and excellence. The coaches there have worked with some of the best players in the sport. The training methods are rigorous and demanding. For 6 years, Alex was immersed in that environment every single day, developing not just her technical skills, but the habits and mindsets that champions carry with them onto the court. When you watch her compete now, and you see the composure she shows in tight moments, when you see the way she handles pressure and processes results, good and bad, you are seeing the product of those 6 years of serious, dedicated work. Before she turned professional, she also gave the tennis world a clear sign that she had serious talent. In 2022, she won the U.S. Open girls singles title, which made her the first Filipino player ever to win a junior Grand Slam singles title. That was a historic moment, not just for Alex personally, but for Filipino tennis as a whole. Winning a junior Grand Slam is not easy. The juniors competition at major tournaments draws the best young players from every country in the world, and to come through that field and win the whole thing requires real quality. A lot of people in the tennis world sat up and took notice when Alex won that title. But everyone in the sport also knows that junior success and professional success are two completely different things. The gap between the two levels is enormous. Many players who were dominant in juniors find that the step up to the professional game is just too big, and they never manage to make a real impact on the tour. Alex has not only made the step up, she has thrived after making it. That says a great deal about the player she is and the work she has put in. This season has already been remarkable for her, even beyond the top 40 ranking. She made her Australian Open main draw debut this year, which is a significant milestone in any professional player's career. The Australian Open is one of the 4 Grand Slams. Getting into the main draw means you have earned direct entry based on your ranking, which is its own achievement. It means you are genuinely among the best players in the world, good enough to be seeded and protected in the biggest tournaments on the calendar. Alex made that debut and competed, which gives her Grand Slam main draw experience that she will carry forward into the rest of her career. She also won the Kooyong Classic exhibition tournament in Melbourne, which showed she can compete and win under pressure, in front of a crowd, and with something at stake. Exhibitions are not the same as official tour events, but winning still requires focus and quality, and Alex demonstrated she has both. So when you add it all up, the picture of what Alex has achieved in just the first portion of this season is genuinely remarkable. Australian Open main draw debut achieved. Exhibition tournament won. Multiple quarterfinal and semifinal appearances across WTA events. Top 40 ranking reached for the first time in her career. All of that before the season is even close to a quarter of the way through. The natural question is obvious. If she is already doing all of this in the early weeks of the year, where is she going to be by December?
Top 20 is absolutely a realistic target if she maintains this level of performance. Top 15 is not out of the question, and if she starts making deep runs in Grand Slams and big WTA 1000 events, even higher than that becomes possible. She is 20 years old. Her game is still developing. Her experience is still growing. Every tournament she plays in, every tough match she goes through, every top player she faces makes her better and more prepared for the next challenge. Players who are in the top 40 at age 20 and still improving do not tend to plateau there. They tend to keep climbing. Part of what makes Alex's story so compelling, beyond just the tennis, is the way she is connected with people. The Filipino community around the world has absolutely embraced her as their tennis superstar, and the level of support she receives is extraordinary. When she played in Manila, fans packed the stadium to watch her. People traveled from different parts of the Philippines just to be there to see her compete in person. When she plays anywhere in the world, there are Filipino fans in the stands with flags, cheering her on and making their presence felt. The Philippines has a deep connection to many sports, but tennis at the elite professional level has not always had a Filipino face at the very top. Alex is changing that, and the response from Filipino fans everywhere shows how much that means to people. But the support she receives is not limited to Filipino communities. Her story travels well because it is genuinely inspiring. A young woman from a country that has not traditionally produced top tennis players, who went to Spain at a young age to train at one of the best academies in the world, won a junior Grand Slam, and has now climbed to the top 40 of the professional rankings. That is the kind of story that resonates with people regardless of where they are from. Tournament organizers around the world have recognized this. They know that when Alex is in the draw, people watch. Her matches attract attention. Filipino fans tune in from all over the globe. Casual tennis fans who might not normally follow WTA events start watching her because her journey is interesting and her tennis is exciting. She is genuinely good for the sport, and the sport is starting to recognize her for it. Dubai is a perfect example of this. The reception she is receiving there ahead of her debut at the tournament has been described as absolutely insane. This is not Manila. This is not the Philippines. This is the Middle East, thousands of miles from home. But there is a large and passionate Filipino community in Dubai and across the UAE, and they have shown up to welcome Alex and support her. The tournament itself is rolling out the red carpet for her debut, treating her like the star she has become. That kind of welcome in a foreign city shows just how global her appeal has grown in a relatively short time. The tournament runs from February 15th to the 21st, so it is happening right now. This is Alex's chance to test herself against the very best players in the world on a big stage with serious prize money and significant ranking points available. Every round she wins at a WTA 1000 event adds meaningful points to her ranking total and serious money to her prize fund. She has already shown she can make quarterfinals at this level. The question now is whether she can go deeper. Can she make a semifinal? Can she make a final? Those are not crazy questions to ask about a player who has been on the form she has shown recently. She goes into the tournament having lost in Doha, which means her confidence has been given a small test, but she has the right attitude to bounce back. She has done it before. The consistency she has shown across the past several months tells you that she does not let individual results define her. She plays each match, takes what she can learn from it, and moves forward. That is a mature approach to a demanding sport, and it is one of the reasons she has been able to climb so steadily rather than going up and down the rankings like many young players do. Looking at the bigger picture of her career, everything seems to be pointing in the right direction. The training foundation from the Nadal Academy, the junior Grand Slam title, the professional experience building year after year, the breakthrough results starting to arrive, the top 40 ranking now achieved, and now Dubai, competing against 18 of the top 20 players in the world at one of the most prestigious tournaments on tour. Each step has built on the last one, and there is every reason to believe the steps ahead will be bigger still. Alex herself has said that this season is about dreaming big. That is exactly the right mindset for a player in her position. She has already accomplished things that the majority of professional tennis players never will. Most professionals will never break into the top 100, let alone the top 40. Most will never win a junior Grand Slam. Most will never compete in the main draw of a Grand Slam. Alex has done all of those things, and she is only 20. But she is not sitting back and being satisfied with what she has achieved so far. She is pushing for more. Top 40 is a milestone, but why stop there? Why not top 30? Why not top 20? Why not Grand Slam quarterfinals and semifinals? Why not WTA titles? All of those things are within reach for a player of her talent and at her stage of development if she continues to work and compete the way she has been doing. After Dubai, the season continues, with many more opportunities ahead. The clay court season, the grass court season, the second half of the hard court calendar, more Grand Slams, more big WTA events, more chances to pick up wins against top opponents and add to a ranking. Every tournament from here on is another opportunity to prove that the top 40 ranking is just the beginning and not the ceiling. For now, though, all eyes are on Dubai. Alex Eala, World Top 40, making her debut at one of the most prestigious tournaments in women's tennis, going up against the best players in the world. It is exactly the kind of stage her talent deserves, and she has earned every single bit of the recognition she is receiving. The journey from ranked 139 to the top 40 in 12 months is the story of a player who has worked relentlessly, improved consistently, and seized every opportunity that has come her way. Whatever happens in Dubai this week, the trajectory of her career is pointing upward, and the best of Alex Eala is very likely still ahead of us. This is one career worth following very closely, and we will be right here covering every step of it. Make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss a single moment.